in a desert area north of Lima, between the valley of the Supe River and the coast of Peru. 5,000 years ago reigned splendid civilization Caral, whose urban remains with numerous pyramids, discovered 19 years ago, are considered to belong to the oldest city discovered in America. Between 8 and 9 November was their anniversary, and the head of the archaeological area, Ruth Shady, together with government authorities took the opportunity to show the public their latest findings, and stressed that the society was formed almost simultaneously with the civilizations Mesopotamia, Egypt, China and India, the government said. See Gallery. The Caral civilization in South America, in central Peru, developed almost in isolation, advanced by more than 1,000 years to the Olmec civilization of Central America. The archaeology team said the discovery of a path, which they called social integration, linking the nuclear part of the city with the structures and surrounding homes, where the common people lived. It was a way of sharing among the inhabitants of the vast area of residences and drivers under the imposing monumental buildings in the core area of the city, favoring social interaction and integration among them, noted archaeologists in government report. Archaeologists believe that because it is located in the northwest corner of the city of Caral, was destined to displacement of farmers, and was made up of a row of buildings on its sides. In the upper part of the nuclear area were the largest public and residential buildings in the city, 7 monumental buildings, 2 sunken circular plazas, 2 spaces for collective congregation, residential units of officials, as well as an extensive residential specialist and servers. Pyramids View. Pyramid Low Turn on the lowest zone was discovered this year, a public building, similar to the largest in the center, but smaller. Hence other monumental buildings departed children up to the nuclear part. The lower half had an architectural complex of the amphitheater, the circular altar building in a residential complex, less extensive. According to the report, the area of the periphery, containing residences clustered and distributed, as an archipelago along the alluvial terrace adjacent to the valley. Development of the Caral civilization. Caral is considered and recognized as the testimony of one of the greatest civilizations, the oldest in America, declared World Heritage in 2009 by UNESCO, and Peruvian researchers, reached an impressive development and high cultural level, and scientists. Caral revealed frankly extraordinary, the dramatic dimension of its buildings, the beauty of its urban plan, because of technological advances that allowed a technique of seismic building, whose design exceeds the current technology, says a message from the American Association of Sociology, ALAS, released by the government of Peru. In the pyramidal structures used, archaeologists postulate that knowledge of arithmetic and geometry and architectural design and execution. In addition, Caral NEOS astronomical studies used in the measurement of time and weather forecasting, and coded in the system log information. Agricultural development was remarkable and allowed them produce semillas cotton of various colors, internationally appreciated. In the absence of city fortifications, which characterized the other known civilizations observed. It is believed that civilization Caral was venerated by the native peoples, who developed scopes such as the Quechua language, whose forms pre-Quechua were already present, says the message of ALAS. It was estimated that the mother of the great colonization of an entire continent, Caral turn becomes a symbol of our historical identity, says ALAS. It is one of the first civilizations that would create the contemporary humanity, adds ALAS, and proud to Peruvians, which requires us to know and be aware of the responsibility to preserve the valuable heritage we have received from our ancestors, according to the government. The archaeological sector includes Caral, Chapaciguero, Miria, Lurihuasi, El Pacado, Aradipondo, Pueblo Nuevo, El Molino, Rough, and Pedro Parada Vichama settlements. In each of the settlements recuperaron instrumentos that were used in everyday activities, such as the preparation and consumption of food. The offerings change. Some as gods I see picture are similar to contemporary as Amazon, or those of the Mapuche in southern Chile. The archaeological record shows that Carolinos maids used as containers, bottles, cups and saucers, also carved wooden spoons, plates, bowls and stone mortars. To contain some substances also used mollusk shells stand archaeologists. As in the later societies, studies report that large feasts and banquets by the ruling class were organized. To Caral, actions of social life, politics, religion, economy and science were related, anthropologists say, and the religious leaders were, at once, specializing in astronomy or medicine, political leaders, among other fields. It is believed that the society had a worldview in harmony with the preservation of the geographical environment and its resources and outer space. Its economy was agricultural and fisheries trade. The inhabitants of the coast and fished mainly collected anchovy, mussels and clams, and valley farmers produced cotton, maize and food species as achira, beans, sweet potatoes, pumpkin, squash, potatoes, peanuts, avocado, chili, paqui, guava, corn, etc. In the late period of Caral 2100, c. 1800, the buildings were remodeled using smaller stones than in previous periods. Some structures in the city were buried and the city is finally abandoned. Music was an important part of their culture, something lingers in Indian societies today. 3 musical ensembles, formed by wind instruments, were recovered. The musical practice was collective and included snails as percussion instruments. Flutes found the music was included in the religious and social activities by groups specializing in this elaborate artistic expression. Other discoveries: among other discoveries of this year 2013, the discovery of a figure of a character with cat traits vigilant and threatening in the archaeological site of Piedra Barata, according to archaeologist Gustavo Espinosa, according to the April report highlights. It is believed that it was not made in clay, and finishing details manually modeled with the help of a child object. Originally wearing green, red, pink, black and white, made with pigments. The character wearing a red face and green body, and was perched on a white trunk. The object was found in a deposit of one of the buildings A5 containing ash, quartz, and there, archaeologist Luis Fernandez made the record figure with all associated materials, the report said. The archaeological context of the object, in this case the ash and quartz, indicate that the figure was carefully deposited. Probably he was part of a ritual or ceremony burial. This activity was typical when building a new building on an earlier, says Gustavo Espinosa. To mark the anniversary of last Caral, in November, a rally was inaugurated Soup Community Museum and the presentation of the city lights.